Actually, I don't need to share the screen. I have no presentation to make. I'll share some things verbally, and Annie and I were hoping, she'll have, I think, a little more of a presentation, but we're hoping to spend most of the time discussing. That we discuss things, you guys join in. If you look around who's in this breakout, there's a lot of people with a lot of experience. And we'll succeed most if people share their experiences. From my perspective, I need people to share problems with me. My company and my organization tries to solve problems, and I need to know what the problems are. What are the things that are stopping good things from happening? So I welcome hearing about the problems, and I share the solutions, and that gives hope to everybody. Hope is pretty important, that we maintain some hope and we see there is progress being made. But unlike a lot of people in the industry, I don't focus on particular technologies or particular methods to do something smarter. I'm thankfully, surrounded by a world of intelligent people who come up with good ideas. Unfortunately, I'm not surrounded by a world of people who adopt the good ideas that the intelligent people come up with. And so that's what I jumped into early on. I said, what would it take to get the smart ideas of how to do things better? Ideas which could be implemented today. How do we get them implemented tomorrow and not 40 years from now? And so that's what I focused on. That requires human beings. It requires human beings making decisions to do things. Much like some of the earlier presenters had mentioned, we each have possible choices to make in our personal lives, but we also have possible choices to make in our professional lives, and our professional choices have a much bigger impact on the world. That's not the same for everybody. There's a lot of people in the world who don't have positions in professional situations where they can influence a lot of change. But a lot of the people who went to Princeton are the people who can influence the change. And so I focused on what can I do to help the people who are in organizations who want to do the right thing, but can't do the right thing for a litany of reasons. Many of you know reasons. You've tried it yourself. You've come across a lot of troubles. The big ones: don't have the money, or the money is there, but I can't use it, or there is money, but there's risk of doing something differently. And if I do what was done yesterday, no one's going to blame me. But if I do something different and it doesn't work, I will be blamed. And I'm concerned about my own career, my own safety, etc. In fact, that's the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that human beings working for organizations must commit to change, where change gives them a disproportionate risk compared to the return they will get from that change. And this is what stops change from occurring. So I focused on what can I do? What can I do to create an organization which then can help remove the risk to the individual decision makers in all these organizations? And so the Energy Reduction Coalition works with parties who say, I've got a great thing I want to do, but there's reasons I can't do it right now. And we say, what can we do to remove those? Almost always the solution is we pay for the change. And we pay for the change without any obligation from the organization who's going to enjoy the benefit of that change. And if it doesn't work out the way they like, no problem to them, no risk to them. We bear all costs of anything that goes wrong forever. We write a contract which is perpetual, not just now, but every time you change that for the rest of eternity, all maintenance and replacement, everything, our problem. And this was our solution. Right. So now, Right. So as it turns out, so this is what we do, and we love to hear about problems. Annie, I'd like to turn over to Annie. She can start sharing specific technologies that she's developed and methods, et cetera, and what have worked. But then hopefully we can get to the rest of you guys to join in and share the problems, share the solutions. So all of us walk away from this thing a little better informed than we were when we came in, including me.